So we are going to make some wet cough thyme tea, right? It's good for wet coughs. This tea is antimicrobial, it's antispasmodic, and it's an expectorant, right? Thyme is antispasmodic and expectorant in the respiratory system. It's, it's beneficial for the treatment of bronchial coughs, laryngitis, and it calms down a cough that's non-productive, coughing fits. It kills germs in the mouth and the lungs. And, it's great for easing lung conditions and congestion. And we're going to make a simple thyme tea. Thyme is also, it's high in rosmarinic acid. It facilitates the healing of the bronchial inflammation, and it's traditionally used to treat spasmodic coughs, bronchitis, excess phlegm, cough with secretions, right? So thyme has flavonoids, and the flavonoids soothe the bronchial tissue. And when it's soothed, it's like the tissue relax, it opens, and then you can get stuff out. And so, yeah, remember, this is hot and dry. It's a hot, warm, and dry. And so again, this tea and thyme is really the best remedy for wet, mucousy, kind of rattly coughs, So if you have a dry cough, what you want to do is you want to make sure you make it into the syrup, because with the syrup you add the soothing quality of the honey, which helps to temper the dryness of the herb. Does that make sense? Right? So, yeah. The other way that I am going to help you kind of temper the hot and dryness of this herb is we're going to add a tiny bit of licorice to this tea. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, so we're going to make our wet cough thyme tea. And we're going to do, just what we normally do, right? We're going to put in 1 cup of water. All right, and so for 1 cup of water, I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of fresh herb. Remember, I usually add more fresh herb than dried herb because the fresh herb, it has more water, it takes up more space. And so I've got this, nice, really nice, oh my gosh, ooh, that's so strong. That is so strong. The fresh thyme is just so amazing. I mean, dried thyme is really amazing too. And, I love the art of garbling. And I think that's why we need therapies, because we don't spend enough time garbling with other people. Like garbling alone, no, forget it. But you get to, it's like shuck the peas, pound the tortillas, garble your herbs. You do that with a couple other women and pretty soon, or a couple other people, and pretty soon you've solved each other's problems. You're using your hands and you're just, preparing your food. Plus the herbs are already working on you while you're garbling, because as I work with this thyme, the oils are already entering my body and getting things moving, heating things up, right? So, ooh, there's a long one. That's a long stem. So garbling. Yep, I'm getting, so I'm not going to be using the stem. I'm just going to be using these leaves. Okay, so we've got 1 cup of water. So we're going to use 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme for this. 2 tablespoons of thyme. Okay, now we could just be there. And, if you have a really rattly, wet cough, that would be good. But let's say you have kind of a dry cough. And you're like, oh, thyme is, it's the perfect antifungal. It's the perfect antibacterial. I really feel like I would like some thyme. But you want to temper the dryness. And what we can do is we can add a pinch, not a lot. So we're going to use licorice root, okay? So not the candy, not like black licorice, but licorice root. And so this is a very, and we're not going to use very much. You don't need a lot. I mean, literally for this 1 cup of tea, I'm just going to put in the amount of half the size of my pinky fingernail. Okay. So I just put in a little pinch, and the licorice, what it does is licorice is very soothing and moistening and actually demulcent. So demulcent herbs are kind of slippery and a little bit gooey. So we're going to be adding a little bit of like slippery slime to this tea so that it's not so drying, okay? So this is one thing that, so we're starting to layer things a little bit. You can make your thyme tea, and if you feel like, it's just, you don't have that much mucus, then, and you have a dry cough, you can add a little bit of licorice to your tea, and what that'll do is you'll be able to still get all of the amazing antimicrobial, disinfecting properties for the lungs and the respiratory system, but it won't be as drying, okay? So that's a good little tip to know about. All right, so there we have that. It just so happens, of course, I already have some made up for you, right? So let's, okay, so I've got my tea already made up. So what do we do next? Right, we strain it. So I'm gonna get my strainer. I'm gonna strain my couple cups of thyme tea, all right? And there you have it. It's so simple, right? I'll go ahead and let's do it properly. Let's get some nice teacups and let's serve it. So you can put your tea into your teapot. Yeah, very nice. And this smell is incredible. I love this smell. It's so, I just feel kind of an increase in mental clarity. It has kind of an uplifting scent to it. It has an uplifting effect. All right, so there you have some nice thyme tea. Let's see here. We're gonna pour ourselves a cup of tea. And again, this is really good for wet coughs. If you need to, if you've got a rattly, mucusy, kind of infection going on, your thyme, by all means, if it goes on and it's, you drink your thyme tea, warm thyme tea, 3 cups a day for 2 days. And if it doesn't resolve the problem, then move on and try something different. You don't just it's like if you feel like, okay, I want to use this herbal remedy, you don't just keep doing it or do more and more and more. It's like your herbs should help you within a day or 2. For these coughs and colds and things like that. And if they don't, if it's not working for you, then move on to your next strategy, okay? So, asante, here's your, Yep, that's strong. This is not a tea that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna serve this at my tea party. People will be like, ooh, what did she get into? No, this is medicine, and it's medicine. It's strong, and you drink it warm. It makes it's more medicinal if you drink it warm, because the warmth itself helps the tissue to relax, right? So here is your thyme cough tea, wet cough tea. And again, I hope you don't need it, but if you do, this one's gonna help you.